guys, now that all the emotions are all in the atmosphere and everything, let's talk the real deal. Okay, let's talk the real business. Forget all that stuff, like whether it's YouTubers out there that's trying to ride the community, like I said in the previous video, for their personal gains and for what benefits them, or whether it's other YouTubers that are saying stupid shit that really makes they don't know much about. They just are trying to chase the first example of the other YouTubers that I was saying. It does not matter. Now let's talk about what's going to be like, what is good for you, what is good for us. First of all, I'm not a financial advisor, guys. This is not financial advice. I almost forgot that one. Let's think basic terms. Okay, hands down, we know that they've been manipulating the prices on all the meme stocks, and we know that it's very, 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 very terrible, and it's been for a long time, for over a year. But specifically since last June. The reason why I say last June is because they let most of these stocks at least rip up a little bit, just to kind of test the waters and test the grounds about a 6 months ago, and unfortunately, didn't just go down the way that we anticipated it to go, and continue to rise. Now, one thing I can tell you is, if you look at the patterns, at least, if we want to talk patterns now, is that it looks like almost every 6 months there's a move. What I'm trying to get to now, it doesn't necessarily have to be every 6 months. It could be every 4 months, but every quarter, every 2 quarters, whatever. One thing I can tell you for sure, though, the point that I'm trying to make is that you literally, sorry, I almost ran into something, and it's not good to drive and talk, but this was necessary. I'm gonna park right now, so we could just be doing very safe. The point that I'm trying to make, guys, is that they can't keep everything down for good. They themselves just can't do that. The point is, whatever stays down is not going to stay down forever. Everything is going to have its moment. It really is. I mean, the only reason why you would be really stressed out for this play is, okay, forget the whole thing you've been holding over a year and everything. I understand, over a year and a half, shit, I know how it felt. But the main reason is because that you're frustrated is because you parked your money in this play and you didn't leave any space for any extra plays on the side to make money while you're waiting on your money. This whole buy and hold the line is great to obviously to create a habitat of squeeze habitat, or basically to squeeze this play. But the problem with it is, obviously we're fighting the other side, and the other side clearly made it clear that they're not they're not gonna give up easy. In fact, they're still continuing to try to fight to the end. So if that's the case, then what are we gonna do? The only reason why you feel down is because you just had your money there, and it's down now, most likely, depending on when you got in. And it's just like you're fatigued, from this. And that's something that they're riding on. That's their war strategy. I've said that many times. So you can't let them have it. You can't let them have the win because of that. Now, one thing you can learn now from this is that this whole buy and hold is perfect, but you got to have just a particular, in my opinion, of course, you have to have that strategy of, knowing the cap. Like, okay, this is what I'm going to put for this play, and that's it. No matter what, I'm willing to hold, buy and hold, whatever, and hodl and all that crap with this amount. And you could along the way have been making money throughout the other plays because they were banking on that. You know, they themselves have been banking on that. They're like, while you are tied down and in this region, we're going to attack you from all over the market. You know, we're going to keep the market flowing. And they've been testing that. And it's been working to their advantage. The only problem is our numbers have kept growing and growing and growing. And instead of just them having to fight GME and AMC, you know, by now they have to fight BBIG, Sundial, Prague, just about everyone, SPC, Cause, so many, BlackBerry, Nokia, like all these plays have buy and hodlers, you know, if that's how we want to refer to it. So guys, my thing is to try to encourage you to remember that you're gonna have that moment. It's coming. But if you're just, for future reference, if you're just gonna keep, you know, buying and holding one place, then you have to know that, you know, as an investor, if you have a day trade, like if you have an investor's mindset, then you have to be okay with putting your money in a play and wait it out like a year, two, who knows, maybe even longer. I mean, some people, the idea that they had for the longest about investing was that it's for retirement. So people already had this idea that, you know, we're gonna put this money in, and 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line, I'm gonna see what this becomes. And they just chose a blue chip company like Tesla or Apple, mostly Apple, to dump their money in. And within 10, 20, 30 years, they were looking, when they were gonna retire, they were looking to have all that, you know, all those dividends being paid back. And that's another video in the future to talk about as well, stocks with dividends and all that stuff and the benefits of having that. You know, so now you're just gonna learn that after this is over with, you will know that, you know, you're just gonna have that sense of knowing what to do, whatever next play you're gonna jump into, or next plays you're gonna jump into. You know that you're not just gonna go all out, all in. And I mean, the odds are they're not gonna be as crazy as this. I don't know if this will come in a long time. I will never say never ever, because just like this have come, people back in the, you know, like in the previous squeezes in the past, like the Volkswagen, they're like, oh, this will never happen again. And well, guess what? This looks to be worse. And this play is worth a lot more. I mean, a lot more than the Volkswagen. Like the numbers, if anybody says like, show me the numbers and all that stuff, like, honestly, I have a little issue with Lou. Just one issue. And I know that there's chatter about him being the middle guy or whatever, and he says he's not, and he's making fun of it. Whether he is or not, it doesn't matter. If he is, that could really explain why he's trying to downsize the play. Like by saying at the most you're 1 trillion, if you're lucky, a $1 trillion play. Do you know what that means? If we know that we have, he himself have said we have 9 to 10 million, perhaps more investors. And we do know that Adam Aaron back in January said, in June, said that on average each shareholder owns 500 shares. So by now I would assume they went higher, but I'm just going to stay with the 500. If you do the math on your 1 trillion Lou, whatever your last name is, with no disrespect, pun intended. I'm just like going out. You said I'm yet to see anyone explain the math. Well, I'm gonna